Hi everyone, Cheryl here. Today is January the 19th, 2023, and I wanted to talk about an event that took place on January 9th. We had a major solar flare that took place on the 9th. That was an X-class solar flare, 1.9, and it actually sort of left an aftermath of a bunch of mini flares all week long. And I was noticing quite a few clients that were having some disruption from this flare. I mean, you can certainly look it up on YouTube. There's lots of video coverage from NASA and various places that have saved this flare event and showing some of the, it looks quite spectacular to watch it on the video, but it does have an impact on Earth. I have been writing about this in my newsletter for years. Now, I sometimes think that, people just take some of that information with a grain of salt, not thinking that solar flares can have an impact on our health and our well-being. But the fact of the matter is they have done some studies and some tests, and they know that it can have an impact on the heart. Some people get migraines and headaches, and it has induced seizures in some people. So it is affecting the nervous system. And if you think about how the electromagnetic field is disrupted on the Earth from a flare or a coronal mass ejection, and it has an electromagnetic field, but so do we. Our heart generates a Taurus energy field. For those that don't know what that is, look it up. It's spelled Taurus. You can also do some reading on the Heart Math Institute website. They talk about that and how the heart and the brain generate its own electromagnetic field, and how that energy interacts with people around us, and how we can feel other people's energy as a result of those fields. So the sun and the earth on which we live, of course, will be impacted. And to think otherwise is a bit naive and maybe a little bit foolish to think that we're not affected, but we really are. So what I have noticed with clients, from the 9th and that whole week, was that people were feeling overwhelmed. They were easily stressed. They were having, sort of agitated feelings, anxiety, feeling like they were off, feeling fatigued, digestive upset. I was noticing a lot of different changes with my clients, things that they normally wouldn't experience, and it sort of hit them out of the blue, and they were wondering what was going on. Well, what was going on was that solar flare, and then, of course, through the week, we had smaller flares occurring more frequently than usual, and we did have some radio blackouts in various parts of the world. And, if it's strong enough to do that, it's going to impact you. So things that a person can do if they follow along with the solar flare activity is to prepare themselves by making sure that they're not overextending themselves health-wise. If there is fatigue, which quite often can happen with a solar flare, if there is fatigue, make sure that you listen to your body. Listen to your body and rest and get the rest you need. And then, of course, making sure you're getting adequate sleep so that you're not straining your nervous system, and then support your health with nervous system herbs and vitamins. So things like B complex, or taking something like valerian, or something that's calming and soothing to the nervous system. Chamomile tea, calming essential oils like lavender oils, doing things that are going to just soothe and calm you down. and not overextending yourself, not pushing yourself to your limits, not running yourself ragged, making sure that you're treating yourself well, eating properly, exercising without overdoing it. For people who have a predisposition for heart conditions, very important not to overdo it, because it does have an impact on the brain and the heart. And if you're overdoing it and pushing hard, you may end up feeling like really stressed and really strained. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I've been writing about it in my newsletter for years. And maybe people don't always take that seriously, but I've seen the effects of it time and time again. Now, there is an app that you can put on your phone that helps you to monitor when there is solar activity, and I believe it's called Space Weather Live or .com. I'm not sure. Go to the Google Play Store and do a search for space weather, and it will pop up. And it does have, you can set it for notifications on your phone, and it'll let you know whenever there's an event, a solar flare, or whether there's disruption. And then you can prepare yourself and know, and 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 do things, be more proactive to help your health, because these are real effects. This is not something to just ignore and treat lightly, that it's, something that's often left field. It really does have an impact. It can even affect your digestion. It can affect your sleep patterns. It can affect, people were on edge all week long. I was talking to clients and there was agitation. There was, in some cases it even affected, dizziness and a variety of things like that too. So I think it's really important to know that we are part of our environment, and, the sun is part of our environment, and it's space weather. And so we need to be mindful. I mean, just like on a rainy day, we take an umbrella. When there's a solar flare, we have to do something to be prepared for that. So to make sure we're getting adequate rest, etc. So you can be proactive with this. You don't have to just think that there's nothing you can do. You can download the app, you can be informed, and you can prepare accordingly. And it's valuable to do that, because, like I said, if you have a predisposition to heart condition or seizures or migraines, you want to know if there is something that is coming. And the thing about the solar flare is it's not going to impact the earth immediately. It could take a couple of hours before we feel the effects, or even longer. And so we have time to respond accordingly. So again, I just wanted to share that information with you. I'm by no means a space expert, but I do watch and pay attention to when there is solar activity, and I watch the cycles and the effects it has on my clients, and also I feel those effects as well. And so I'm just giving you a heads up on that. Have a fabulous day. Thanks for listening.